The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. Kolo Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Makakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I didn't learn the name of the Lord from them, but I learned the proper understanding and the importance of Yahweh Shai from them. Kolo Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, when I first I had looked up my slave master's name for the 5th time in my life, and it was 33 slaves on the plantation. This is the only time I struck gold, and I haven't really. It's crazy because I haven't really been able to get back to that information. I don't know what website I was on, and I lost that phone. But I had heard the name Yahweh. And I was like, wow, that's the name of God or something like that. And I was still in the streets. It was my first month of hearing these scriptures from the Watchmen of Israel, Shakari, IUIC. They popped up first, but they kept talking about Joy Morgan's death and like the first 2 weeks. The first week was like Joy Morgan's death, and the next week they were still talking about it. And I'm like, yo, I want to hear some scriptures, man. What you talking about Joy Morgan's death for? Acting like you copping the plea, like you trying to, like you building a defense for the whole IUIC. It was just real weird, and I stopped watching them after that. And then Sakari kind of confused me with the whole. They said, I know people do they lunar cycle or Shabbat cycle by this, or this the 13th month. Yeah, they said something about the 13th month, and I was like, yo, this is too far for me. Like, I don't know nothing about no 13th month stuff. Like, so I kind of fell back from them. But now that I know that what they said makes sense, it's according to the moon. But they still had the wrong Sabbath day. But nevertheless, to hell with all this camp talk stuff, because what it all boils down to is this is a testimony on the name being Yahweh. Now, I had found myself in the back of a police car. And they had big plans for me. They had been planning something for me for a while. But anyway, I ain't even gonna get into all of that. But anyway, they got me. They got me in the back of the car. And I'm just thinking to myself, Lord, please don't let him go up in that hotel room. Please do not let him go up in that hotel room. And as time kept going on and I see my picture on the screen, I see all my info on the screen in the cop car. And later to find out, they had my info on the screen in all 3 of the cop cars, because it was another couple. It was a couple that came to pick me up, and pretty much it was all about me. They was interrogating them and so forth. And long story short, I always record the police. I had beat a yo Salaki, yo, you loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that was distracting me. My fault. So I was in the back of that car, and it's like my first less than 30 days. Guaranteed less than 30 days. I really knew nothing. I didn't know nothing except Deuteronomy. You know, that's really what I knew at that stage, Deuteronomy. So 28. So I'm in the back of that car, and that's what I was saying. I always record the police because I had beat a case out in Maryland. I had beat a high speed chase because of that was another story within itself. They pretty much, I felt like they tried to kill me that night. And all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that they didn't shoot, because I got up out of there. And ever since I beat that case off of that recording, because I recorded it, they didn't know I was recording. Ever since I beat that case, when the police stopped showing up, every time I deal with officers, I record them. I hit that button ASAP. So I'm recording. I'm in the back of that car. As soon as they pull this over, I'm recording. They got me in the back car now, I'm recording. They got me out the car, I'm recording. Can I sit back in the car now? I'm recording. So boom. About 30, 40 minutes later, I call on the name of Yahweh. I didn't know to call on Yahweh Shai. I didn't know Yahweh ain't got no, he ain't want nothing to deal with me. Rightfully so. But like the scripture says, if we're fortunate, he'll wink at our ignorance. So I called on the name of Yahweh. And when I got back to that hotel room, the girl ended up getting locked up. Me and the man, they let us go. So when I went back to that, they wanted me, so they locked up somebody, so they could get her to talk about me. When I got back to the hotel room after he left and went back home to wait for her to get out or whatever, or to get her out, I listened to that recording in disbelief. I couldn't believe what I had just survived. And as I listened to that recording, the name of Yahweh never picked up. So I listened to it again, like, the hell, I know I called that name out loud. And it never picked up. The name Yahweh did not pick up on the recording. And so that's how I knew that the name was real. My faith was just boosted in the name. That's before I seen the apostles and elders of Great Millstone break it down, the Hebrew. And I'm horrible with learning different languages. The best I could do is ask a Spanish girl, what's your name, where you're from, and say a couple inappropriate things. that's as far as I got with it. But the name is real. It's power in that name. There's so much power in the name that the audio would not record it. So call on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Kwakadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for learning and passing it down. Shalom.